Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we're diving into the incredibly alluring, fast-paced world of active investing. I know, we all want to just jump right in, start making trades, and watch those returns roll in, right? But here's the hard truth we really have to confront first. You absolutely cannot build a financial roof without pouring a rock-solid foundation. It just doesn't work. So that's exactly what we're going to construct today, step by step.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we need a quick, serious reality check. The source material hits the nail on the head with this statement. Invest at your own risk. Count the cost. I need to be super clear right up front. What we're exploring in this explainer is an opinion based on experience. It's not formal financial advice. You absolutely must count the cost and evaluate your own personal situation before you ever risk a dime of your hard-earned money.
To help you do exactly that, we've put together an exclusive preliminary checklist. Think of these as the absolute prerequisites you've got to evaluate and qualify for before you graduate to active investing. Our agenda is pretty straightforward. First, stop before you invest. Second, build your safety net. Third, eliminate high-interest debt. Fourth, maximize tax-advantaged accounts. And finally, the true path to wealth.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1. Stop before you invest.
Look, before making a single move, you've got to force yourself to just pause and honestly evaluate your current financial reality. It is so incredibly easy to get swept up in all the hype, isn't it? We see people online flashing their massive gains, and man, we want in on that action. But the source gives us a really critical warning here. Do not fall in love with the projected profit or the experiences of other people. Your financial situation is entirely unique to you. You have to look at your own reality and only pull the trigger when you actually qualify.
So how do you know if you actually qualify? Well, the core of our agenda relies on a very specific three-step structural blueprint that you need to complete before you even think about placing that first trade. Step 1, fund an emergency savings account. Step 2, eliminate credit card and consumer debt. And Step 3, max out your tax-advantaged funds. We're going to break down exactly what each of these crucial steps looks like. Moving right along to Section 2, build your safety net. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this stark target goal right here, 6. Let's start at the very bottom layer of our metaphorical financial foundation, because without this, everything else you try to build is entirely at risk. That number represents the exact number of months of expected income you need to have sitting safely in savings. Not a couple of weeks, not just 1 month, we're talking 6 full months of your expected income. This is your ultimate safety net for when life inevitably throws you a curveball. And let's be real, it definitely will.
But where exactly does this money go? The source is super specific about this. First, it has to be in a liquid account. That just means it's readily and instantly available to you the second an emergency strikes. Second, these funds are strictly not at risk. This is not the money you use to go play the stock market. And third, while it needs to be totally risk-free, it should still be earning some interest for you. So think along the lines of a high-yield savings account or a money market account. It needs to be safe, accessible, and just working quietly in the background for you.
Section 3. Eliminate high-interest debt.
Once that safety net is securely in place, we move to the second pillar of our foundation, which is tackling high-interest credit card and consumer debt. These things act like a massive anchor just dragging down your wealth. And this brilliantly illustrates the stark, mathematical reality of the situation. Paying 15% in credit card interest versus hoping for 15% in investment returns. If you're carrying credit card debt, those interest rates are almost certainly astronomical. I mean, why in the world would you try to invest your free cash hoping to scratch out a 15% return in the market when you are literally guaranteed to lose 15% immediately to your credit card company? The math just doesn't work out.
When you look at it that way, the mathematically superior choice is crystal clear. If you have free cash, you should be using it to wipe out that high-interest debt rather than investing it elsewhere. This is especially true if you're a new investor. You've got to reframe your thinking here and just take the win. Take the guaranteed win of that 15% savings simply by not having to pay interest on your debt. That is an immediate, totally risk-free return on your money.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 4, maximize tax-advantaged accounts. Okay, so we've protected our downside, and now we look at the third prerequisite, which focuses squarely on your workplace investment opportunities. Let's clearly define what a tax-advantaged fund actually is. It's basically an account, like a company 401k, where the growth of your money isn't taxed until you withdraw the funds way later in life. This allows for the massive, uninterrupted power of tax-free compounding. Plus, companies typically offer this incredible benefit where the employer will match a percentage of your investment. Think about that for a second.
That is essentially free cash being added directly to your foundation.
So the absolutely crucial point here is this. You must take advantage of this incredible opportunity and max out the annual contribution your company allows. Just max it out. Once you put the money in, let it sit in a growth account and allow it to compound over time. I know, it's a super simple, kind of unsexy strategy, but the source notes that you can literally become a millionaire on just these tax-advantaged accounts alone. No crazy active trades required.
And finally, Section 5, the true path to wealth. Now that we've got our emergency fund locked in, zero high-interest debt, and maxed out workplace accounts, we finally arrive at the last stage. But the source gives us one final, sobering reminder here. Please, do not become the tragic narrative of the guy who didn't build a strong foundation before trying to become an active investor. Yes, active investing can provide incredible profits, but here is the reality. It could take 10 times as long as you initially thought to actually be successful. Real investing success requires incredible patience and a long-term outlook. And honestly, you can only afford to have that kind of patience if your financial foundation is totally secure.
To tie all of these concepts together, the source anchors this entire philosophy to financial expert Dave Ramsey's famous baby steps. Specifically, it points to his baby step number 7, which is building wealth. The takeaway here is profound. Going all in on investing in truly building immense wealth only happens at step 7. It only happens after that strong foundation is completely poured and set.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a critical challenge. I want you to look at your own financial blueprint and ask yourself honestly, is your foundation truly ready before you place your first trade? Count the cost. Build that safety net. Ruthlessly clear out your high-interest debt and secure your tax-advantaged future. Because only once that foundation is rock solid are you genuinely ready to conquer the wild world of active investing.